up guys, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about Mass Effect. That's right, I'm a big time Mass Effect fan ever since early 2022. That's right, I'm a bit late to the party, being in that whole Nintendo eco bubble of sorts, but I'm in Xbox now. I'm heavily invested, and when I'm invested in something, I just go headfirst. I dig in. I started collecting the entire original Mass Effect trilogy, collector's editions, and all that. I'm into Mass Effect Andromeda on the Xbox One. I'm playing the original Mass Effect trilogy, but then remastered the Xbox One edition. I've shortlisted buying that thick art book in addition to having all of those smaller art books in those collector's editions. And I'm even considering buying that Mass Effect clothing, having that big N7 written all over my chest. And really, you gotta admit, there is something to that Shepard shuffle. Just odd. It's mesmerizing somehow. But enough about that. I want to talk to you about some of the rumors, some of the speculations that are out there regarding the new Mass Effect game that is in the works right now. You knew. Yeah, you knew. If you didn't, then stay tuned. We'll go over all of the rumors, all of the hints, or even the facts that are out there already. And we're going to check out these two controllers sent to me by PowerA, the XP5X Android controller and the Mass Effect Xbox controller, as I will explain to you just how these two controllers make you a better gamer at Mass Effect. Here's the thing, Mass Effect as a series has a big fan base, strong fan base that is based on Mass Effect being a trilogy. And then they came up with a new concept, you could say, Mass Effect Andromeda. Now personally, I do like Mass Effect Andromeda, I kinda dig it, but I do get the criticism it has received. I think that given more time, if Mass Effect Andromeda has a sequel and maybe even finishes up a trilogy, by then you could actually look at it and say Mass Effect, the original trilogy, Mass Effect Andromeda, what do I like better? And it is exactly at this crossroads that the developers are standing, looking at the situation and saying, are we going to please fans by continuing the Mass Effect trilogy, Mass Effect 4, going back to Shepard? I know everyone who loves Mass Effect would actually like to see that. Now that would be the easy way out, I'd say. Thing is that they could also continue the ideas of Mass Effect Andromeda, have a sequel to Mass Effect Andromeda, forget about Shepard, forget about the original trilogy, maybe make a few hints, they could definitely do that, but continue the line that they've started with Mass Effect Andromeda. I think that would take more guts from the developer, and it would require the fan base to at least be open-minded. Now let me just throw out an odd one out there, a game that is set time-wise in between those, right? The end of the trilogy, the start of Mass Effect Andromeda. What if you start navigating in the middle of that? Now that would be the most interesting take they could make. It would be kind of like a prequel to Mass Effect Andromeda. I am really interested in that. So much for speculation. Now, these are the facts. There is a new Mass Effect game currently in development. It has left the initial stages, the pre-production stage, and has now entered actual game development, game design stage. It wasn't entirely a big surprise though, as there was a ton of vacancies, job postings, specifically pointing at new games. They're actually kind of staple IPs, right? So the Mass Effect game was an obvious choice, as everyone has been waiting for what's next following Mass Effect Andromeda. So I will be sure to keep following all the little bits of news, tidbits of information that will be fed out there to the public. I'm not sure why my hand is doing this. See where this development is going. Wait for some early sketches, right? Some early concepts that are fed out there. Maybe some polls. Developers nowadays would like to do that? You know, what would you as a gamer like to see in this next Mass Effect game? I'll be sure to keep an eye on it and keep giving it to you guys so that you are aware of what is coming. Now, enough about that. Let's dig into the controller stuff. There is something about using a controller that's branded by the same game that you're playing. Play a Mario game using a Mario controller, Cuphead game using the Cuphead controllers, or a Mass Effect game using this officially licensed Mass Effect controller. It is just something magical that instantly gets you into the groove. Now, this controller, from a technical standpoint, you might have seen already on the channel. I made a video which Xbox controller is the best for you. I recommend you check out that video if you want to have a full review of this model. In that video we're also looking at the Fusion Pro 2 controller, amazing controller, but also this design. Now, what is new here is the actual cover, the actual design, the faceplate design featuring Mass Effect, the N7 logo. I love it. I absolutely love it, especially how that gradient just runs off here, and it's not a deep black. It's kind of a brownish tint to it. It's a color you don't really have featured on your shelf all that much. I love it. And the best thing about this controller, two things in fact. Sure, all the buttons are there. It's great. The grip is fantastic, but I absolutely love those programmable buttons. They really help you out in a game like Mass Effect, as does the headphone jack. I kinda like to play games either on my Switch Portable or when I'm using the TV. It's a good thing that I can plug in headphones while my wife is also in the same room, not being bothered by all of that gaming sound. Now, whereas the controller is amazing, the packaging design was somewhat less, I dare say. PowerA, this is actually the most plain box I've ever seen designed by them, which came as kind of a shock to me, given all of the box art that I've seen lately of their other controllers. But to be fair, it's a box and you'll probably just either put it away somewhere in a dark and dungy corner. It has all the information that you might want or need. The Moga controller, the Moga XP5X controller, did take me by surprise to a large amount. I mean, this controller has everything you might want or need, save for one thing though. It's not compatible. I repeat, it's not compatible with your Xbox. Yes, that might come as a shock. There's a big Xbox logo there. It's even officially licensed by Microsoft to be used with Xbox environment. 1500 is good. Your captain will be it's meant to be used with the app, the Xbox app. You can use for cloud gaming, all that. It's basically for your Android phone. You can also use it either Bluetooth or wired connected to your PC. So you can also continue your games on that. But the thing is, this controller packs a punch. It has everything you need in a controller, minus a headphone jack. Not sure why that's not there. For the love of me, why I can't figure it out. But other than that, it's a great controller. It has a detachable clip. You can remove that just like so, and it has a lot of points of articulation, so you can set it to whatever phone requirements you might have. It's kind of clicky. Kind of like that. You can clip this on. You can either take it off too. That's okay if you're playing on your PC. This is just fine. The L and R buttons, the bumpers, the triggers, they're all fine. There are no trigger locks, but really that would be a bit of an overstretch. Joysticks, fine, a bit clicky to my liking, but they're fine. They even have anti-friction rings. That's nice. They have this green highlights. I like that little nod. The D-pad isn't the best I've ever seen from PowerA, but it actually does well, and I like that little green hint on the top there. Oh, big Xbox logo, maybe a little bit oversized, but it does work. Share button, menu, all that. The A, B, X and Y buttons, also fine. But you know what's the kicker with this controller? Sure, you can connect this to your phone and you can play games, but you can also charge your phone, as this has an inbuilt power bank. Yes, it has an inbuilt power bank, and to that extent, there are an awful lot of ports in this controller. There's a USB-A port that's actually for charging your stuff, and then there's a micro USB port. Kind of a shame they didn't use that USB-C, but yeah, sure, I mean, it works. Controller itself, absolutely fantastic. Now, as for that power bank, this box came with a bunch of stuff. Make no mistake, there's a lot of stuff in this. So I already opened it. Of course, thing is, I want to show you just how many of those cables there are. Now let's see what all we have here. Here we have a micro USB port to USB Type-C, which is actually an adapter, which you can't lose because it's connected. And there's another micro USB port. Then we have a USB-A to USB-C. That has another micro USB port. We have a USB-A to micro USB again. And finally we have USB-A to USB-C. There's just too much stuff here packed in this box, so that you can use it as a power bank whilst playing your games, or just as is, right? You can charge it obviously as well with the same cables. There's just a ton of stuff here for your controller. So the obvious question would be, how will this controller, the Moga XP5X, make me a better gamer at Mass Effect? Well, the answer is, every Mass Effect game has been released on Game Pass, which is great. You can play them on your console, but it also means you can take those games on the go, play them whenever you want to, with perhaps the single best Android controller currently on the market. And with that, guys, I am signing off. I sincerely hope you've had an enjoyable ride here, going over all of the little bit of information regarding the next Mass Effect game, the Mass Effect controller, the Moga XP5X controller. You might want to pick up one or two of these. I've put some links in the description down below. Subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, hit that like button if you have enjoyed today's video, and I will see you next time.